It's been confirmed and is trending all over the internet right now. Avian flu in the United States. First human case of avian flu in Texas raises alarm. Potential cow-to-cow avian flu transmission in Idaho is worrying pandemic experts. In fact, top U.S. egg suppliers, they idle the Texas plant after bird flu outbreak, and the bird flu has been detected in a person in Texas. What we know so far, this coming out today, April 2nd, 2024. Now, I'm going to be giving you the latest information that's coming out on this so you know exactly what's going on. Take a look. A person tested positive for avian flu. This is being exposed to a cow that was thought to be infected by the virus. It's the second time a human has been infected in the United States. I'm going to be sharing with you what it is the experts are saying at this time. Now, in addition to that, I'm trying to provide my community with resources that can be available, such as if you want additional medications, just in case there's pharmacy issues, you want to have them on hand. LifeSaverVault.com, one of the resources we have linked in the description, along with a link to the newsletter to stay connected off of social media platforms, and a power grid guide in case power grids go down, free PDF linked in the description as well. We're going to be providing more resources to help you stay prepared for anything. But let's get you caught up on the latest breaking news coming out on this. And also, if you're somebody that collects Social Security, stick around to the end. Big changes are coming. They've been announced, official video footage. Like I said, stick around to the end for some more updates on that. But let's dive right in, get you caught up on the latest. And before we do me a quick favor, hit that like button if you appreciate the updates. Just takes a second, helps out a ton. Hit subscribe to stay up to date. It's totally free. Why not? And with that being said, let's get you caught up on the latest coming out with bird flu spreading to people. First case just confirmed. All right, so link in the description below to this article that came out from Politico that says first human case of avian flu in Texas raises alarm. And it says a Texas dairy worker has tested positive for the avian flu, marking the first identified human case of an illness in the U.S. that has sickened cattle across several states over the past few weeks. The infection, only the second human case of H5N1 ever recorded in the country, is worrying public health experts who for decades have cautioned that avian flu could pose a serious threat. Now, the case is the only one state and federal officials have identified, and there is no evidence that it is being spread among humans. The illness is mild, and the worker is expected to recover, said two people familiar with the matter who were granted anonymity because of the information that has not yet been made public. While there have been confirmed avian flu fatalities in other parts of the world, the U.S. has only ever recorded a handful of mild cases, according to the CDC. Now, the new human case follows recent cow infections in Texas, Idaho, Michigan, and New Mexico that have raised alarm among public health experts who worry the virus spread to mammals could make it easier for the virus to infect humans. Every single time is a little bit of Russian roulette, said veteran public health expert Ashish Jha, who led the Biden administration's COVID-19 response. You play that game long enough, and one of these times it will become fit to spread among humans. Now, the CDC, the FDA, and the U.S. Department of Agriculture said the virus was found in a Michigan dairy herd that had recently received cows from herds in Texas. The USDA's National Veterinarian Service Laboratories said the Michigan strain is very similar to the cow infections in Texas and Kansas, which appear to have come from wild birds. Now, initial testing has not found changes to the virus that would make it more transmissible to humans, the CDC, FDA, and USDA said in a press release. While cases among humans in direct contact with infected animals are possible, this indicates that the current risk to the public remains low. Still, senior White House officials are closely monitoring the evolving situation, with the Office of Pandemic Preparedness receiving regular updates from HHS and USDA. Now, Jeff Zients, President Joe Biden's chief of staff, was briefed last week, said one person familiar with the matter granted anonymity to discuss internal conversations. Now, the FDA's top vaccine regulator said Monday that the U.S. maintains a stockpile of vaccines targeting avian flu. There are actually vaccines licensed in the United States for H5N1, and there are stockpiles where we believe that, if we needed to, they would be reasonably good matches, Dr. Peter Marks said from the World Vaccine Congress in Washington. Now, whether the federal government would activate more production of those countermeasures depends on how the situation unfolds, Mark indicated. Just because of being on edge from COVID, there are a lot of people looking at what's going on here, and there's probably a pretty low threshold to pull the trigger here, he said. This is one case. We're a little luckier because it's a pathogen that we know. We know what this is and what we have in the freezer, so to speak. We have a little bit of a leg up on at least getting started here. But Dr. Luciano Barrio, a former FDA official, questioned the vaccine's potency. The shot's 2-dose regimen, which the FDA approved in 2007, produced antibody levels expected to reduce the risk of getting avian flu by 45%. I'm not as confident as Dr. Marks, she said after the remarks. There is also concern about the potential cow-to-cow spread in Idaho. State veterinarian Scott Leslie told Politico that cows from an Idaho dairy tested positive for avian influenza a few weeks after shipments of Texas cattle arrived in early March from a facility with avian influenza cases. The coincidence of timing is just too coincidental to say, well, the shipment of cattle came up from an infected facility in Texas, and then 2 weeks later we saw it in some of other cattle, Leslie said. That just doesn't make any sense. The FDA said it is not aware of milk or food products from symptomatic cows entering interstate commerce. The 3 government agencies said there is no concern about safety of the commercial milk supply because of pasteurization, which heats milk to the temperature that would kill the virus. But Rick Bright, who led the Biomedical Advanced Research and Development Authority and raised alarm about the Trump administration's early response to the COVID-19 pandemic, said that he is not comforted by those assurances. They would have to do a lot of testing before I would drink milk from one of these farms at this point, Bright said. Caitlin Rivers, an epidemiologist at Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security, said it will be crucial to get a better understanding whether the virus is changing in a way that makes it more adaptable to spread among humans. I don't necessarily suspect that to be the case because I don't think cows are particularly like humans in that way, said Rivers, who was a founding associate director of the CDC's Center for Forecasting and Outbreak Analytics. But anytime the epidemiology of a virus changes, it makes me listen more closely. Now, Bright cautioned that highly pathogenic avian influenza does not always translate to the same level of disease in people and mammals as birds, though he and other experts warned the potential impact is far from certain. Now, the increasing prevalence of avian influenza in cows means that human surveillance in farm workers and dairy workers should be bolstered, according to the Association of Public Health Laboratories CEO Scott Becker. The bigger picture is that this virus is not cooling off, said Jennifer Nuzzo, the director of the Pandemic Center at the Brown University School of Public Health. We've been worrying about this virus for 20 years, more than 20 years, and in the last year, it has really been remarkable in how far across the globe it has been spreading and how many species it's been affecting. Stacy Schultz-Cherry, an expert in animal influenza at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, said the infections in cows are the first time avian influenza has been found in the animal. There does seem to be more spillover into these different animal species that we've never really thought about before, especially with avian influenza viruses, Schultz-Cherry said. So let me know your thoughts. There appears to be split opinions on this. Some experts saying this is concerning, others saying there is nothing to be worried about, that it will not spread, others saying that we have vaccines, and others saying, well, the vaccines are only 45% effective. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And a lot of people, as they mentioned, still a little jumpy after what we went through with the COVID-19 virus. Now, there is a lot going on, and in addition to that, Social Security is expecting to see some major changes here very soon. We just heard from the new commissioner, Martin O'Malley, about 4 big changes, steps they're going to be taking to help make right some of the wrongs done from overpayment clawbacks. And there's a lot of things people want to see done, and this could be the year as we are entering into an election year. Now, to see the latest on that, be sure to check out this video right here as I covered it in detail for you yesterday. And as more information comes out, I'll keep you up to speed on everything. But you guys, that is the latest. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.